Hi, how are you? I'm MikelParis.
I'm Dave Heilman.
My name is Craig Johnson, Vice President of the East Hartford Historical Society.
Welcome to TuneTrek.
I'm a Stomp alumnus and keyboardist with the band OAR. And I believe that our history needs to be preserved, experienced, and celebrated. So while I'm on tour, I like to discover and explore lesser-known historic landmarks and tell their stories through an original song, photographs, and film. But it's not just about the places. It's also about the dedicated and passionate people that I meet along the way.
So today we're in East Hartford, Connecticut, and I'm meeting up with my friend Dave Heilman.
Hey there.
What's up, Dave? Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
It's my old Stomp friend and great musician, and we're gonna go check out some sites owned by the East Hartford Historical Society. Yeah. All right, is it gonna be good, Dave?
Yeah, man.
What do you think? Oh, hey.
Hey.
MikelParis.
Hi, Craig Johnson,
Nice to
Vice
meet you,
President
Craig.
of the Historical Society.
Fantastic. It's my friend Dave.
Dave, nice to meet you, Dave.
Nice to meet you. What about this house was so special that the community got together to preserve it?
That's a good question.
Well, because it was unique in that this particular house was never modernized to 20th century living conditions. You take a look in this closet right here, all original chestnut wood. People didn't bother wallpapering or painting the inside of a closet, so what you see in there is probably how it looked back in the 1700s.
So cool. And there's a little
Is a little cubby hole
If
right
you
there
were bad, that's where they put you.
They would have to go outside to the well
to bring the water in. Okay.
often, all year long. All year long, they'd have to
year
run
long.
outside.
And run outside any time of the year. That's a good lyric.
So we're heading to the Goodwin Schoolhouse. So tell
Goodwin
me about
Schoolhouse.
this Goodwin guy.
And
Now,
who is Goodwin?
I did read something, right, that he actually built this on his property.
He not only educated his own children, but his neighbor children.
For his kids and his neighbors, this was pretty great. I like it.
There would have been benches, very similar to what you see here.
Okay.
The girls would have been on one side, the boys would have been on the other side.
Like the high school dances.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this would have been the teacher's desk.
And is this sort of authentic for the time period?
Absolutely.
Ah.
Okay, we are now going to leave the one-room Goodwin Schoolhouse and see the 1850 Burnham blacksmith shop.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's go check it.
Blacksmithing.
And we have Mr. Burnham himself, the builder of the barn.
Burnham.
And he was
brought him.
a wagon and carriage maker, in addition to having blacksmith skills.
Right.
But as blacksmithing went out of style, as we got into the 20th century, this barn was utilized for tobacco growing. It's the wrapper of the cigars, where Connecticut shade tobacco is the most, most desired from.
So it's not so much the tobacco.
It's not
but
so much
it's
the filler, but
it's
the
the
wrapper.
wrapping.
It's the wrapper, like the shade tobacco. Excellent for wrapping.
Because there's a lot of great rappers that come out of Connecticut.
Oh, yeah. There's like, what's that guy's name? DJ Tobacco?
Yeah.
That guy.
DJ Tobbs.
DJ Tobbs, some people
Yeah.
call him.
Yeah, he's smoking.
Everyone back in those days needed tools, so we have a great selection of carpenter tools that would have been used during the late 1800s and early 1900s.
Very cool.
Such as these planes and vices and saws.
You have a few vices, don't you?
That Smith creates. This is how we used to work.
Like this.
Oh, yes.
There was a time when living was simpler. Candle, straw, broom, warm fire, and a run outside any time of the year. This is how we used to live. There was a man who decided to educate and built a small school on his property. For his kids and his neighbors, this was pretty great. This is how we used to learn. This is how we used to live. Yeah, this is how we used to learn. This is how how we used to work back in the last centuries. I take a snapshot of a moment in time. There was a time before all the factories work in the shop meticulously with a that Smith creates. This is how we used to work. Oh, so many years ago. Now it's featured in my show. This is how we used to live here. This is how we used to learn. This is how we used to work back in the last centuries.
Is this?
Did you ask if you could touch that? That's an antique bellow, man. Did you ask if you could touch that, Dave?
I was actually just seeing what kind of sounds it made. See if
Usually preceding a tour, I have to say, and please, folks, do not touch anything.
I'm gonna go in the cubby under the stairwell.
Yeah. This is what happens, Dave. Going in.
So there's literally cobwebs. Oh God. No.